Hello, hello. Welcome to 4 Degrees Funnier. I'm one of your hosts, JC.
And I'm your other host, Darian.
And I'm producer Allie.
Allie's just got a permanent spot on the weekly pod now. It's not even you're the producer slash third host now, for sure.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
We love that. I think the people love it. We were just giving the people what they wanted, really.
Yeah, I keep trying to duck out, and then people are like, where were you on this episode? You guys are asking me questions. I'm having to come back on the camera anyways. So I'm like,
right?
I'm just going to start on.
Still not getting paid enough. She's doing even more now. And we're like, nope.
Well, you get nothing, so really we got to get those views up so that we can pay you.
That's right. Speaking of, I guess I do have a little update. Our promo package will be going out right away.
Oh.
To our winner, and then I will be sending you guys some merch too. So super exciting.
I'm amped.
We'll be able to rep our colors out in the streets there.
In the streets.
Hell yeah, brother.
I love it.
Yup. So what's on the agenda today? What do we got first?
I can start with another segment of Allie's statistics.
Nice.
Golf clap, golf clap.
Claps for myself. Okay, so we were obviously in Mexico last week. So the listeners, the countries, we added Mexico because we had multiple people with us that were listening, which was incredible.
Our regulars.
Yes, our regulars. We also added another country, which is very exciting, and I'm hoping it's not one of Darian's friends that's just on vacation again.
Oh.
But the new country is Kenya.
Nope, not me.
I'm like racking my brain. Like, do I know anybody in Kenya currently?
Me too. No, I don't think I know anyone in Kenya. Are you checking your friend's Snapchat map right now?
I am. I'm like, who that bitch? Gotta really.
You know what? Alex should start listening to our podcast when he's traveling because we would have so many other countries on the stat sheet.
100%.
Yeah.
I should tell him
that. So the last couple months we've got Chile, Peru, Russia, Kenya, Mexico.
That's amazing.
We also need to, we're grieving the loss of our Russian follower because they haven't been listening.
No.
They didn't like the shout-outs every week, I guess.
That's what I said. I'm like, they probably didn't like us badgering them every week. Like, oh my god, yay,
what's up, Russia?
So we won't do that anymore. And we're very sorry. Unless our Russian listener relocated to Kenya, which...
Wow, you never know.
Shout out to our Kenyan follower. But, yeah.
Again, that could be someone in the witness protection program.
Oh, shouldn't have said his name.
Just bleep out that name that Darian just blurted out.
Fuck.
I was just going to say that Darian and I mutually know somebody that we are 1,000%, oh my god, 1,000% convinced that they are in the witness protection program. So you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I love it.
All right. What were you going to say, Al?
No, I was just going to say, I feel like if they're in the witness protection program, they should probably turn off their location for their Spotify because I do feel like that's, a bit concerning.
10 out of 10.
That's a great piece of advice for them. If they are still listening, just you might wanna,
Yeah.
If you're listening and thinking about having to enter witness protection, turn it all off. Go dark,
Get a burner phone,
Get a burner phone.
change your number.
Yeah, you know what? When I watched that show, You, on Netflix, I completely had to change my social media because that scared me so much. The amount of information that he was able to get from social media from that one girl. I had to I'm now a private page. There was just certain stuff I was like, fuck no.
I know, it's so crazy. Have you seen that guy on TikTok that people will send him just a random picture of them somewhere and then he literally finds where they're anywhere in the world?
Yeah, they'll be like, locate me, and he's like, okay, well this photo, oh no, it fucks me up.
It's find I want to say it's find me monkey or monkey something location monkey. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something weird, but anyways, yeah, that's wild. You got to be careful about the stuff that you share.
No, you really do. And
Feel
here
like
we
I'm a
are
god
sharing a
sometimes,
podcast. I know, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, one little thing that upset Tim, and I'm going to say upset, and he's going to listen to this and go, "It didn't upset me." But we talked about my dress a little bit. Remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "You should have warned me." And I was like, "That's like barely a spoiler." But
Yeah.
he was like, you can't be saying that on the pod because I'm listening." And I was just like, "Okay, sir, like it'll be fine." But it does make you think about all the little things you say
Mm-hmm.
on the internet.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember, like, when we went to university, they were like, if you share anything, like, basically you're gonna die. And we
Yeah.
were like, fuck it, let's share it anyways.
Let's post this on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard to drill that into people under the age of 25, though. I feel
Yeah, we're like, okay, please.
like what's the worst that happens to me? I get kidnapped? Sure. You know, and
Yeah.
now it's like, oh my god, I could actually get kidnapped.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if we talked about this. This is so random, but did we talk about the Khloe Kardashian like campaign where she was like dripping milk all over herself?
I think we did talk about this.
Okay, we might have touched on it, but
Yeah.
I'm obviously watching this season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians because like reality, hello, love it.
Yeah, we love it.
So she made a comment. They were hiring like an assistant for Scott Disick, and she was helping him interview them. And she was like, "Oh, well, one thing that I like to do is like creep their social media and like see what they're doing, because like that's like the best way to vet somebody." And like my first thought was like, you posted basically porn on your Instagram grid. Like, what are the standards here then? You know?
Totally. 100%.
But anyways, still goes to show you. Apparently, some people do check the grid for interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Here we are, but
What was I going to say? Something sparked me there. But
was it the reality TV?
it was before that.
We have to talk about that. But can I go back to something about Tim and the podcast quick?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in Mexico, and Tim's sitting by the pool with his AirPods in, and he starts to laugh out loud. And he's like, "Oh my god, Allie," and he's repeating what I was saying on the podcast, and I'm just like, "Tim, you're so cute." Like, the fact that you're like, he's like, "I gotta get caught in the pod." Yeah, like, he's like so cute. Like, I was just like, he's our number one fan.
He is.
We love that.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. He was just giggling, listening. Yeah, we got to get Adam to listen more. So this is a shout out to Adam to be listening to the pod because he was like, "Oh, yeah, I kind of listen." And then we'd say like inside jokes. You know, the whole time in the trip, someone would say something. And the whole family would go, "In this economy?" And then we'd be like, "In an election year?"
Yeah.
And we'd all be like, "Ah." And Adam's like, I'm like, "Listen to the pod. Like, we're going to start making inside jokes that you can't get now if you don't listen." Like,
Yep.
I made
Yeah.
him listen on the drive to the airport in Cancun, like one AirPod in. And I just kept saying, like, "You can take the AirPod out." And he was like, "No, I love it." And I'm like, "Okay, then why don't you listen?"
Yeah.
why aren't you a regular listener?
Yeah,
bitch?
what do you mean?
That's so true. That's like me and Alex. Sometimes we'll be talking, I'll say something, and then he'll be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Did you not listen to the pod?" Like,
What the fuck?
Did you not listen at 3:01 a.m.
Yeah.
on a Thursday
Yeah.
morning?
how dare you?
What's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
Mom and Dad, stay loyal.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh, man.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
I want to ask the question that I was talking about earlier. This was a good one, and I feel like this is kind of niche, so hopefully you guys get it. But the question was basically someone was saying, "I know everything I need to know about somebody when they answered this question. Which parent would you live with from The Parent Trap? If you have to choose the Lindsay Lohan version of The Parent Trap, okay?
Oh, I know
Yeah.
for sure. Like, you're picking the mom. I'm picking the dad.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
You're picking the dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going full British. Like,
Yeah, you're
that,
meant to be there.
I love her little, like, I mean, obviously the California, like, ranch they've got, the winery is cool, but the little, like, walk-up brownstone situation they have with the mom, 10 out of 10.
I don't understand how you were like cultivated from rural Manitoba, like from the dirt beneath our feet, and you are like diehard city girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is very weird, hey? That's what Tim always says. He's like, I can't believe you're from like literally the middle of fucking nowhere and you are the way you are. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you feel when you go back? Like, are you like, or are you like, fuck, can't wait to get out of here?
A mix. I think it
Yeah.
depends on how long I'm there. I usually go home. If I go home in the summer, first 2 days, I'm like, oh, so nice. Like, so peaceful, so quiet, so open. And
Yeah.
then I'm just like, there's nothing to do here. Like, I just can't imagine that being my whole life anymore, you know? Because, like,
Yeah.
what do you do? I'm not like I do shit here, but, like,
Yeah.
I could if I wanted, you
Yeah.
know?
It's accessible.
Yeah. The option is there.
That is so true. One thing I would really miss is Uber Eats.
See,
Fuck.
I talked to Adam about this a lot because he talks
Yeah.
about like wanting to raise kids like outside the city, and I'm like, yeah, but like you can't order takeout or like you have to run to Shoppers Drug Mart. Okay, drive an hour. Like no,
Yeah.
like I'm way
Literally.
too like scatterbrained to not have things within 5 minutes of me. Like I have to be able to just go get the things I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need like I would be down with like the most perfect size like town. You know what I mean? That has like everything that you need. Like you still have like a Walmart or like something like that.
A Starbucks.
A Starbucks. That's like that's the threshold for sure. And Uber Eats. I mean,
That is one thing about going home is that we can't eat out. And like if we do, it's like one of two restaurants that have been there for 100 years. And you can't order them to our house because we live outside of the boundary of the frickin' town. So like
which is crazy because the boundary in Calgary is like they will drive 50 minutes to go get your food and bring it to you. But like
yeah,
if you live 50 minutes out of Calgary, like equivalent from where that restaurant is to where your house is, like and you're outside that zone, sorry. No.
it's not
Doesn't
happening.
make sense. It's not a time thing, which is so weird,
So weird. And
right?
that's what we talked about this a lot about what we want for our future family, obviously. And yeah, the discussion of like rural area, metropolitan area, like what do you want, you know? And ultimately it was that like we want to have our children have the best opportunities available, whatever those may be, right? It doesn't need to be that they have to go to this like hockey academy, but if that was something they wanted to do, they could have that option versus like
Yeah.
in a really small town. I just feel like, I mean, I think we were fortunate obviously, but you'd be really limited if you didn't like any of the like mainstream sports that our school offered.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything. Like you weren't going to do like fencing
Or
Yeah.
or like
cheerleading.
cheerleading or yeah.
Well, even in your guys' case, like you still had to drive like 40 minutes to Brandon. I
Mhm.
mean, like you guys had good volleyball like around the area, but like for example, like to the next place, like and for me it took 2 hours to drive to Brandon to play volleyball there. So like it's a like if you want to get that higher skill level, you kind of need to travel for it. But
Totally.
it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
An
So,
interesting.
like, what do you know about Allie and I then that we want to live with? Fuck, what's that guy's name?
Nick
No,
Parker. I was
no,
just
no.
thinking about
What's
it.
his real name?
Oh, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. I was gonna say McQuaid, but I
Not
think
it.
that's from
Long and
like,
McQuaid, the instrument store.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Wait,
Anyways, yes, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Wait, speaking of Dennis Quaid was in our town. Do you remember this? When they filmed that movie, A Dog's Purpose
Oh,
or whatever? He was
Yeah,
in
yeah.
right.
Jordan, so.
We were in
Y'all-
college when that was going on, and you were jazzed. You were like, "We gotta go back because
There's
you
like
never know."
nothing happens there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyways,
cool.
back to Nick Parker.
Yeah, so I don't know, I think it just kind of tells about your personality. You know? I think it's like a good, I don't know. You can kind of put people in two camps, you know? Either what's the mom's name again? Elizabeth?
James.
James? Yeah. What's her name in, okay, hold on.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I
Oh.
think what it says, I think this isn't surprising of me and Jay to have chosen the dad because we both, I would say, are closer with our dads.
I
Like-
don't know.
Or like, I don't know, like I
I
guess
don't think it has
know if I'm-
anything to do with the parent. It has like literally nothing to do with the parent. It's which life are you choosing? Parent is
Okay.
not involved at all.
I guess that's not what I picked then, but yeah, okay.
Oh, really? Oh, you were thinking like your mom or your dad, basically.
That was an illegal answer, Allie, because the option was, do you want to live the life of Annie or Hallie? Those are your two choices. It's not, do I want to live with my mom or my dad? Also, it was Natasha Richardson was the actress. She obviously passed away, R.I.P.
Oh,
And
wow.
then she was Elizabeth James. Yeah.
Elizabeth James, yeah. Huh.
So,
So very interesting. Yeah, I think the lifestyle, like, I could be riding a horse, sipping on some wine. I'm
yeah.
trying to get the sound effects for the listeners, you know? Do you feel like you're in, uh, I don't know, what do they call it? Winery in California?
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
I
All
have
right.
no
Well,
words for this. I
Are you mad that your answer was the dad? Because you could change it. It's up to you.
no, I'm mad that you asked me the question. I gave you my answer, and then you said my answer didn't count. It's like,
Okay, it
uh-oh.
does count. I'm just saying you were thinking about it not the way that it's supposed to be. Like, it's which kid are you taking the life of, basically, versus a personal thing of your life. That's
The
too,
wife,
like,
not the parent.
yeah, yeah. And it's not related to you as a person in your life currently.
okay,
It's
yeah.
has nothing to do with your parents and you. It's like you're reincarnated as Lindsay Lohan, and you can pick to live as Annie or Hallie. Who do you pick?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Do
I
you
get it.
keep the same answer?
Yeah, I keep the same answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, so glad we had that discussion. I'm sorry that I was mean about it, but
It's okay. I completely
Classic.
understand.
I completely understand.
This is how sisters problem solve. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, this raises another question for me. Um, do you guys believe in like opposites attract?
In like relationships or friendships or.
Or
Any?
like magnets, because probably.
Magnets, yeah, that one I actually do think I know the answer to, but I don't get it, but I get it.
Yeah, positive, negative. Um, I think in some ways, yes, but in some ways, I think opposites can attract, but I just don't know if that is sustainable long term.
Yeah, I would say I agree. And like, it depends on what the opposites are. If they're like morals versus like personality. Like, Adam and I are very different in like, I'm very high strung and he's very like relaxed. And I feel you need that in a relationship. But at the same time, if we had like different like values or morals, then no, there's no way opposites. But also, you can also have those two personalities and it doesn't work because it's like one stresses the other out. So I don't know. I think it's like they do attract, but yeah, I don't know. What is the context of the question?
I don't know, it's just something that I've been thinking about because like I feel like a lot of my really close friendships, like we are like very different, but also the same. Like
Yeah,
I would consider Darian and I quite different.
yeah.
But
But
then
I
also
think,
now that I think about it, I'm like, wait, but we are kind of like the same.
but we are kind of the same, and I think we're the same on the things that matter to us the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like morally and ethically, we have very similar like mindsets,
Yeah.
which I think is what keeps us being able to be like the same. I don't know.
Yeah. I also think like about shout out to my childhood best friend. I think her and I are very different.
Very different.
But like and my mom and I were actually talking about it not that long ago, but my mom said like I didn't think that like you and her would still be friends like as you grew up, but and then her and I talked about it and I was like we just had this like bond for some reason that like now we've grown up and she's still different than me and I'm different than her, but like it still works.
Yeah.
So it's just so interesting.
I think that's like that on New Girl when Jess and Cece get in that fight on their birthday and then they sit there eating the cake and they say like, "Do you think we'd still be friends if we met today?"
Oh,
And I always think about that because in that scenario I think you guys are truly friends forever because you guys bonded at such a young age and
yeah.
kept the effort to keep each other like in. But I think if you were to meet today, I'd be so curious to know like would those differences be too much for you guys to overcome, or would you still have the same bond? Like, I don't know. It's
I hope she's
so.
not crying right now because, like, I love you, girl, you know?
She 100% is, and this is all out of love. We love all the things about you that are different because that's what
It's
makes
just
it
so
so great.
interesting. Yeah, like I would never consider like I don't know. I don't ever foresee our friendship ending. Obviously, we're fucking 30. We met when we were 4.
Yeah,
So like
it's ride or die.
we're not going anywhere, but that is so weird. I mean, thank God, you know. Thank
Yeah.
God we didn't meet while we were 30.
No, right?
And realistically, we never would.
No, totally. What would
So
have
that
brought you
shows how
guys
different we
together?
are.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so important that you met when you did, and
Yeah.
that's so valuable.
I think that's like, Darian, if you think of like me and Kiara, like Kiara's like my best friend, and I would say we are very different. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of things that I don't even think really like agree on, or like there's a lot of like things that she
I think
likes
like
that I,
politically, you
yeah,
guys are on like
exactly.
totally ends of the spectrum, and I'm always like,
Yeah,
it's such an interesting dynamic, but I love that for you guys.
yeah. And it's like we don't have like similar like, yeah, just like preferences on anything. Like we don't have the same like likes, dislikes, but yet like we are best friends and like ride or die.
The
Like
ride or die. Yeah, she's
yeah,
the person who you call in the middle of the night to be like, I need you to come over because this happened, and
yeah,
she'd be there in a half a second.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like she's like my like friend soulmate, and yet it's like we are so different. And I think that's kind of the same situation where like we do have like the same like baseline like morals and values and stuff, but then it is like funny to see us together and be like, what the? How did you guys even meet? Like you have nothing in common. Like yeah. So I think it's interesting how friendships can do that. And then you also seek out friends who are so similar to you. Like I have a lot of friends that we are like on paper like the same person. So it's
yeah.
funny how yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I always see these TikToks now too, and it's like meant to get married, but like neither of us like women or whatever. And
Devastating.
I'm like
That's what
that's us. Like
That is for
we
sure.
should
I
have gotten
remember.
married, but like it just wouldn't work out.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, I feel like that was a big bummer in our lives when we were like,
Yeah.
we could be wed, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately,
Fuck
yeah.
people. If people are sick of us now, they would definitely be sick of us if we were married.
My friend Ashley and I say that a lot. We are like we always say like if we could marry each other, like I would 100% marry her. I'm so in love with her. She's so in love with me. But we like unfortunately don't like women, but it's like
Yeah.
and like I've said that to Adam too. I'm like if I could marry women, like it would be Ashley in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obsessed with her. I'm so in love with her like but it's just like unfortunately we can't and it
That's
Yeah,
It's
so
like
funny.
on Parks and Rec when Leslie and Anne go to the sperm donor and they're like, "Are you guys having a baby together?" And Leslie's like, "No, unfortunately, we're both heterosexual."
Yeah. Very sad.
Very sad.
Okay, what were you gonna say,
Um,
Jay?
about TikToks?
Yeah, I was gonna say something else that made me want to throw up. I don't know if I sent this to you, Allie, but did you see that video of the lady holding the like towel up to the mirror and her husband's videotaping her? And she's like, "How can you see what my reflection is doing right now?" And like you could see her moving. Oh my god.
I
It
feel like, yeah, this was like a kind of there was like a bit of a trend that happened with a few videos like this, Allie. And then I think someone explained it at some point. Hank, what's his name? Hank Green?
I'm gonna go find it while you're talking.
But yeah,
I can send it to you. I'll send it to you and then you can
hooks,
watch it.
yeah, hey.
And then we can really discuss it because this like literally I was like, "Bleh. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up."
I'm gonna look up the explanation because I know I saw a video of Hank Green explaining it.
No, I feel sick.
I I know.
I actually feel like I'm gonna cry right now for some reason. Watching this, I'm just like, ew, I don't understand.
I know, it's just like icky.
I'm gonna
When I
mute
showed
it.
Alex too, like I was like, "Kate, this video is throwing me for a loop, and I just like want you to watch it." And he watched it, and he's always so like logical about things, but then he was like, "Yeah, that's kind of fucked up." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
Is this the same thing as the egg or the thing? How there's no gas or what was that TikTok going around like a year or two ago where it's like they put up an is it an egg that they put up to the mirror, Darian? Do you remember that?
And then like it's not touching each other.
Yeah, and they're like, how does it work? But I just read like something about the angle of incidence. That's
Like
what
I feel like this is too
Serious?
high science profile for me. Like again, buoyancy, refraction, You can tell me all of these things that I'm supposed to have an understanding of, but like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't like this.
Yeah, like for more context for the listeners, there's this woman holding up a blanket against the mirror, but there's like a sliver uncovered. And then her husband is standing there videotaping into the mirror, and like you can see every single part of her body. And she was like, "Can you see my head moving?" Like,
For the listener, the viewer, it's like she's holding up this towel, but yet you can
but
see
like you
her
can
in
see
the
it
mirror.
perfectly. We'll share it to our Instagram story when this comes out too. But like,
Yeah.
it's just like one of those kind of like mindfuck things where it's just like this should make sense, but for some reason it doesn't.
It doesn't at all. Yeah.
Conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy.
Yeah. So
Okay, I need to talk about Love is Blind again.
okay.
Did you watch the new episodes?
Wait, I'm gonna mute myself and go pee while you guys do Love is Blind, because, I'm not really...
No,
Okay,
you
or
watched
what?
with me. I made Darian watch on Friday.
Oh really?
Okay.
Okay, well, like, what number of episode do you feel like you're at? Because I don't want to like spoil anything
I'm
for
done.
anybody, and I don't want you to spoil it for me.
I'm finished, like, up to the new episodes. Like, there's more episodes coming out on the 28th. But I watched all of the ones that came out on Friday. Like, I binge watched them.
Okay, so I don't think I'm where you're at.
Okay, so you're still at the episodes where they're in the pods.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just watched, and like, spoiler alert to people listening. Yeah, we're like at the point where most of the couples have now met. And then there was this incident where this person thinks that they might have known the person before.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. So I can't chit chat about anything any further than that,
It's okay.
unfortunately.
I will just say that I was watching it at Darian's on Friday because we had a layover in Vancouver. And I was making everyone watch it with me. And then I was like, I stopped it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go have a shower. And then I come out and Adam and Tim are like, you have to finish the episode. There's only 20 minutes left. And like, we have to know what happens. And I was like,
Oh, we're
and then
almost
on
done.
the plane, Adam's like, can you put the subtitles on so I can watch like while you're watching? And I was like, I got like all my friends watching it now. Like Kiara's watching it. She like
It's so
texted me
good.
after the
It's
podcast.
so
Yeah.
drama.
Okay, one thing that was psychotic about Allie watching Love is Blind is there was like maybe 6 minutes left. She pauses it and just like, I'm gonna go have a shower.
That's
We're all
what you
sitting
just
there like,
said.
what the fuck? That was criminal. Like, you can get up and go
Diabolical.
pee, but you can't be like, pause. And it was like 30 minutes before we finished it. That was stupid.
It is the worst. Like, it's the best show and the worst show, but like literally we were watching I think we watched like 2 episodes last night, and it was just like fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Like, I don't care about your guys' banter for 15 minutes. Like,
Yep.
no thank you.
I
Just
just
give
want
me
to
the
see
part
the
where they
point-
meet.
Yeah, like, and someone said that usually they don't have so many episodes of like the
No.
pod. So
I think that's what I said to you.
Yeah. Anyways, I just have one more thing I want to mention. This is from a couple weeks ago. So we had everyone over for the Super Bowl. We're watching. We ended up talking about like shows we watched as kids, like 90s TV shows, and just I think we were talking about the difference between like millennials and Gen Z, and like how I am technically a Gen Z, but I relate more to millennials. Anyways,
You identify as a millennial.
yeah. So
Also,
we're
I
talking
want
about
to quick shout out to rural areas, because I do feel like if you're from like a small town area, you are like 2 or 3 years behind. So like, I think that also would make you technically a millennial, just in terms of like pop culture hitting our town slower than it hit other areas. So continue, please. Sorry.
Anyways, yeah, I agree. So we were talking about kids shows. We're like just, reminiscing on like funny shows we used to watch as kids, like Roly Poly Oly, all these things. So
Do you remember Roly Poly Oly?
It's so specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a super specific example.
Is it about a dog?
No, it was about those people who
Robots.
some of them were square and some of them were round.
I don't think I watched that one, but anyways.
There was square people, Allie.
I thought they were robots.
They are. Some of them were
Oh.
square and some of them were round.
Okay. Anyways, someone mentioned the show Angela Anaconda, and they asked me to ask you guys if you've ever heard of the show. I've never heard of it. I had never. You guys have?
Yes.
Nightmare fuel.
1000%.
Nightmare fuel.
It is. It is nightmare fuel. I feel like I came across a TikTok like within the last 2 years of like a clip of Angela Anaconda, and I was like, like jump scare, and then I like sent it to my sister immediately and was like SOS, and she also was like, "That's fucking crazy."
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, Google a picture of Angela Anaconda right now
Right now.
and give us your feedback on what she looks like.
What the fuck?
Fuck no.
I'm sorry, what?
Like,
Why is
So
it like
creepy.
a child's face?
nah, yeah.
Also
No.
supposed to be a cartoon, but her face isn't a cartoon. It's like 2-dimensional.
Yeah.
Ew, I hate that. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna
Two
add her to
seasons
my.
Only. Also, just
What?
only 2 seasons.
Yeah, they probably were like, "I'm sorry, this is nightmare fuel."
We're getting write-ins like kids are losing their sleep over this, so we're not going to continue with this series. Yeah, that one was crazy. That's a good one.
That was a good one. Oh, that brought. Do you remember? Okay, you know that TikTok sound that was going around, of like the little birdie, and she's like, "It's okay, birdie, I'm gonna take care of you," and it's like
Yes.
beep 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 beep. We
Yeah.
remember that one? That was also a fucked up show.
Which one was
What
that?
show was that?
I can't remember. Look up the TikTok sound. I can't remember what it's called, but it was so weird. I feel like they were like kind of like aliens, and like they didn't really actually speak.
Oh, it was this one. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take care of you.
There was so many weird shows. Like,
So many. Do you know what that's called, Dee? Does it say?
Nanaland?
Mm.
Um,
I can't remember. There was just some totally weird shows.
yeah.
Ooh, what was that show? This girl had like a pet, like large animal that had spots on it.
Yes. It was like almost like a monster,
Kind of, yeah, like
Dragon.
elephant/monster.
and it had horns,
Yes,
and it was like purpley.
and it was like somebody in there something.
Yeah.
Allie, do you know it?
I'm Googling it. No, I don't.
I am like right there with you though. I can tell you that much.
Was it Dragon Tales? No.
Oh my God, bang.
Good one though.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. It's almost time for Dragon Tales.
There, got their
Come
thing.
along, take my hand. Let's all go to Dragonland.
PB&J Otter. Do you guys remember PB&J Otter?
Yes.
Oh, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast?
Yes.
Maggie and the Ferocious Beast.
You
There we
crushed
go.
it.
That was a good one.
What about Pinky and the Brain? Did I already say that one?
No.
That was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
Also a good theme song.
Yeah, there was some freaking sick shows that we watched. Yeah, just had to bring those up.
One that we were talking about in Mexico that threw me was we were talking about Zaboomafoo. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And Tim was like, what were their names again? And I was like, I don't fucking know. And he's like, Matt and whatever. And he said both of them. And I was like, how was that in there? From his memory.
was super hype. Oh my god. Oh, Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
Big,
That
big Blue's Clues fans
I
over
feel
here.
like that one was like it almost made you like trip because like you're in real life and then all of a sudden you're like in the cartoon land with Blue's Clues and it's like that was like your first like acid-ish experience as a child. Like, whoa, what's going on?
Martin and Chris were on Zaboomafoo. Sorry.
Shout out Martin and Chris.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
What else was a good one? I mean, I watched a lot of Teletubbies.
I was just going to say.
Oh yeah.
I was a big Teletubbies
Luna
kid.
I
Lunette
can
the
hear
Clown?
the song.
With Lunette and Molly, a clown and her dolly.
Dolly on
A few weeks ago, I said to Tim, "Can we just do a 10-second tidy?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like from the big comfy couch, and he was like, "What?" So I literally played the song they used to do the 10-second tidy, and I was like, "Just like 10 seconds, like that's all we need." And he's like, "Okay."
You get on the ground, you start stretching.
I was just going to say, how many people try to dislocate their hips trying to
Right?
do the fucking clock? Like,
Okay, do
Yeah.
you guys remember the little dust bunnies that used to live under their couch?
Yes. Oh, I
And
wanted to
Snickle
tell.
Fritz, the cat?
Snickle Fritz. Yes.
I'm
Oh
obsessed.
my God, bring back those
Yeah.
shows because
Bring
those
it
were
back.
so good.
No, I loved that one.
Mr. Dress Up.
Mr. Dress Up.
These are like old ones.
Yeah, we're heading back, like, into the 90s for sure.
Yeah. Because like at first I was thinking I thought you guys were gonna say like Hannah Montana. Which
No.
side note, we were talking about this the other day. We were watching TikTok, or I was watching TikTok. Anyways, at one point Alex was like, "Oh, it's so crazy that like Hannah Montana song is like trending," and I was like, "What Hannah Montana song?" And he was like, "The one that's like trending on TikTok," and I was like, and anyways, so he like was like, you know the, oh my God, how does it go now?
I'm gonna need way more context.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the Hannah Montana song? Oh,
There's so many.
That you get the best of both worlds?
no, it's like it's trending right now. People have it on. Anyways, I'll think of it.
Okay.
I was like, I don't think that's Hannah Montana. And he was like, no, it is. And it was so funny because he was right. And I literally didn't even think it was Hannah Montana.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
That's it. And I was like, how did you know that that was Hannah Montana?
On point.
Right?
Hannah Montana info. Yeah, I do vividly remember when Hannah Montana came out. I remember saying to Allie, like, I'm gonna be famous. Like, I'm gonna become Hannah Montana.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed so, like, attainable, you know, when she
Yeah.
just, like, did it and had this normal life. Well, on the show, obviously. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a banger.
You still have time, D.
There's still time. Thank
There's
God.
still time.
Not
You never
time
know.
yet. You never
If this
know.
podcast pops off, you never know what's going to happen.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? What's this shotgun song?
Oh my God, Darian, you weren't there on Friday. Okay.
No, I was working.
Sorry. So, anyways, I was watching. So, we have this story from when we were kids, and so the other day I'm sitting on the couch at Darian and Tim's. Tim and Adam are playing like bumper pool or something. I don't know, with this like table thing. And Tim's like, Allie, what was that song that you yelled like when you were a kid? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then Adam's like, I don't know that story. So then I have to tell the story of how one time my mom was working nights. Or she'd work nights the night before, so me and Darian were supposed to be like entertaining ourselves during the day because it was the summer,
Quietly as well.
quietly in the house. So we were like playing outside, and we were playing in the camper. Like we had a camper in our yard. So, anyways, we come inside. I had my headphones in, right, Dee?
Yes.
And I'm like standing right outside my parents' bedroom, and I am listening to that song by Paul Brandt. We actually looked it up on Friday to listen to it, and it's like, it goes like, shotgun, everybody's gunning. And I
Oh.
screamed at the top of my lungs. And my mom wakes up from her, like, sleep. She's like, what the hell's going on? Like, are the kids okay? Like, so now
Because
it's just
Allie's
like the
yelling,
biggest joke.
shotgun.
Yeah. And Tim was just like randomly thinking about it. He was just like, Allie, what was that like shotgun song? And I was like, Tim, what the fuck? Why are you remembering stories from my childhood randomly?
So niche. That's actually so
So
funny. Your poor mother.
No, seriously.
I know.
I read it on the notes and I was like, are we talking about like what song we put on a shotgun? Because that seems very 22-year-old us.
Yeah, I don't have the kind of capacity for that.
Yeah.
No.
Too funny. Well, I guess that's everything today, hey?
I think so. Yeah,
Wow. It's like perfect timing, honestly. We're always hitting that 39 mark, so
I know.
Crushing it.
I love it.
crushing it. All right, well, we'll chat with you peeps later then.
See you next week.
I also like how our last episode ended in chaos. I'm glad that we came back to this episode to
Yeah.
let our listeners know that you guys did live.
We did survive. The power came on like probably 20 minutes after that, I would say. Right,
Yeah.
Allie? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And it like our goodbye on the last podcast, I was like, I love you guys. And you guys were like, love you.
Bye.
Hang up. The listeners were probably like, what the fuck is happening?
That was scary.
Anyway, so on much better terms today.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, you guys.
Yes, you as well. We'll see you all next week.
Okay, sounds
Bye.
good. Bye.